live. Let's see if it works.
It says it's streaming. I don't know.
Is it going? Let's see. Oh, I love the technical stuff.
We are live. It says live.
Oh my goodness. I see it online. Okay. All right. I'm just going to speak as if everyone is here, because on my page is showing it as if. All right, guys. Hello, this is Jamie Newton-Knight. I am your motherhood mastery mentor. I help women take charge of their lives, balance their families, and co-parent with ease. Today, we are going to be talking about all of this stuff that we've all been experiencing. Some of us are having a hard time explaining what the stuff is and what these feelings and emotions are. And so I wanted an opportunity and a space to be able to have that conversation, but in a healthy way, not in a way that was, you know, we want it to be a healthy, positive way, but not only that, but in a way that there's something on the end of it. You have some steps to move forward on the end. So some housekeeping things I wanted to say. First, I want to say, whoever is tuning in, thank you for tuning in. We are not going to all agree on this topic. I've seen it throughout my life, throughout my streams on Facebook. We are not going to agree on everything. However, I want this space to be a space of respect. We can all respect this. We can all respect each other's opinion and disagree. It's okay to do that. What else did I want to say? I'm going to introduce Seneca. Again, thank you for being on here with me. So Seneca Williams is an LMHC, which is licensed mental health counselor. She's a therapist, coach, speaker that empowers careerpreneurs and entrepreneurs to break through anxiety and burnout so they can build successful lives with confidence. She is committed to breaking mental health stigma and volunteers for various causes that impact the community. Thank you and welcome, Seneca.
Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it. You know, I didn't have to like second think it or, you know, when you asked me to come on, I was like, yep, I'm there. Let's talk about this. And let's talk about it in a real way. I'm coming to you talking tonight, not only as a therapist and the entrepreneur, coach, and all of that. I'm coming to you tonight as a woman, as a Black woman, as a Black mom, who has Black family members that looks like the people that we are seeing murdered. So just like you had your housekeeping, I want everyone to know that even though I am a therapist, my thoughts that I'm sharing may differ from some people's thoughts, and that's okay. This is supposed to be a safe place for everyone, just as Jamie said, and some of the things that I may say may be also triggering. And before I even start talking, if any of the events that have taken place, the videos you've seen, or anything like that has triggered you and made you feel emotionally unstable, then this conversation is probably going to go there, because I am going to be saying some things very real and very raw.
Thank you for that. I think we need that right now. It's such a weird space to be in. And the crazy thing is that I think it might have been a few days ago, not yesterday, but the day before, I was in the space of feeling something, but I couldn't even pinpoint what the feeling was. I just had this feeling about it. And it was like so traumatic that my daughter texted me and said, Mom, have you seen the videos? And I said, I'm not watching them, because it was already stirring up something in me to know what occurred. So to actually have to go and watch it, I was like, I can't do that right now. My space that I'm in is not in a place where I'm going to be able to actually watch it without having a breakdown. And then I've spoken to a lot of mothers who, you know, they're fearful for their sons. A lot of women in general for their husbands. They've just been saying, I've been crying a lot more. I've been having a lot of anxiety. I know for myself, I worry every time my oldest son, he's 20, goes out the house. I'm like, call me when you get to where you go. When you get on the train, call me. When you get to the house, call me. When you get to the store, when you go to your friend's house, like, it's almost, I'm sure for them it's ridiculous and it feels overwhelming as a kid. But for us, it's like, I need that reassurance to know that you're okay, because we don't know what's out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything that you're saying is on point with what's been going on. And it's almost like a boiling was going on. And, you know, this week, the kettle went off, right? It just blew up. It was boiling. Yes. What you're saying that you've been experiencing, I've been, you know, having clients all week. I see about 5 to 8 people a day. Everyone is experiencing something in a different way.
Right.
And I like what you said, that you said you didn't see the videos and you don't want to watch them, because some people are not able to know that that should be a boundary for them, that I should not watch this. And then there are the people who are like, you need to watch this. Why aren't you watching this? And they need to respect that boundary, that everyone can't handle watching this, because what is happening when you're watching these videos is called vicarious trauma. It doesn't have to be you to experience that. So, you know, all that you're saying, I've been experiencing that. Like, you asked me earlier how I'm feeling, and I said, that's a loaded question.
Yes, you did.
Because I'm not
like,
going to be
where
able
should
to
I begin?
I was like, I'm alive, right? I can start there. I'm alive, and thank God for that I'm alive. I survived. We're in a time where COVID has not gone away. So we had to survive that. And now we have to survive going out and be in target practice.
Precisely. And I knew that right away. I knew that I wanted the person to speak on it to be you, because I've heard you speak numerous times. You know that we're in the same business group, but also just the perspective that we share is very similar. But I wanted it again, because I could get on here and rant about my opinions all day long, right? And I can tell people exactly how I feel, but that's not going to help them heal and move forward. I wanted a space for us as Black people to be able to say, okay, yeah, this is how I feel. And now what? So I thought that it would only be fitting for a mental health counselor to be here, to be able to lead people in that next direction.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm happy to be here. I actually have some stuff here. So let me try to share that out to you. Oh, okay, it says disabled for screen sharing. Maybe, do I need to send this to you, Jamie, to share it out?
Let's see.
To do the screen share?
Try it now.
Okay. All right. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I love that you said we need to talk about what's going on, but how are we talking about it is going to be really important. Right now, dealing with clients, and like I said, this is heavy, right? Even right now, I'm talking to you, right? Psychologically, physiologically, spiritually, this is very, very heavy. Just today, just being really transparent, I've had 5 sessions today where they were all sad. 3 of those sessions, I had to sit there and hold space for people while they were breaking down. Tears, crying, breaking down. And I'm actually getting goosebumps as I'm saying this, because someone today thanked me and said, thank you for allowing me to not have to explain what this feels like. Or if it's my mental health, or if I'm over exaggerating, thank you for just letting me be.
Yes.
And the thing is, they never had that before, because they had only been in spaces with white therapists.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, when we talk about culturally competent therapy. It's not that some of these therapists have not went to training, right? But there's a training that I have that they can never have.
Boom. The experience itself is what it's called.
I am in the body, right? There's no training
I
for
can't
this.
get that up.
I can't take it off. I can't compartmentalize it.
Nope.
It's just always there. So we had that moment, and I've been in sessions this week, like trying not to cry in the sessions, but I've been very transparent with them. Like, listen, I'm human first, you know.
Right.
I have a Black brother. I have Black brothers. I have a Black father. I have uncles. I have friends who are the Black men that have experienced things, and they are lucky that they are still alive.
Yep.
So what I've focused on, you know, in this time is I've told them, okay, let's process, but then let's talk about how to proceed. We're going to process and then we're going to proceed. Because we do have to have room to have the cry and talk about it and express it. But then what are we going to do, right? So that is very important. Yes. Moving too fast, okay. So this is Mental Health Awareness Month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. What a month for mental health, right?
What a month.
For mental health, okay. So if you're watching this on Facebook, you're watching this on the replay, I'm going to tell you to put some green hearts in the comments for mental health awareness. Put those green hearts in there. And, you know, in this moment, I'd like to just be silent, to just think about looking at all of these names. This comes from Black Lives Matter, right? Why we even have to say Black Lives Matter. All these people that were unarmed and murdered, that we have had to witness their murders. Never in my life have I seen anyone but a Black man or a Black woman's dead body on social media or the media. I actually posted that on my social media. Where have you ever seen another person murdered on social media?
Right.
So to pay respect to them, I just wanted a moment for us to just be silent and pay respect to them and honor them. They're more than videos. These are people's family members. These are people's sisters, aunts, cousins, friends, teachers. Okay. So, vicarious trauma. One of the reasons I said this was triggering is because I wanted to talk about it from my perspective, from the therapy perspective, but also from my perspective. A few weeks ago, I saw a video shared. I saw pickup trucks chasing somebody, and I saw them shoot someone. And for me, visually, it looked like when people go hunting. And now I can't unsee it. I can still close my eyes and see it. I can never unsee it. Just like I can never unsee Philando Castile when he was shot in his car. I cannot unsee it. This is traumatizing, to watch things on social media and the news and then download that into your mind. Because that's what we're doing. We're downloading this now into our memory, into our subconscious. That is really dangerous. Not only are we downloading the trauma of seeing people that look like us and the people we love, we're also seeing the comments. And sometimes the comments are what really gets to us. I see your picture, you're like, those comments are triggering. Yes. Comments from people that look like us, that you have different opinions, people arguing, bickering back and forth, comments by white supremacists that are enjoying this. And I think the danger of not only it being traumatizing, right? It is dehumanizing. It is also desensitizing something, right? So if you keep seeing Black men killed over time, it doesn't have the same impact. So the vicarious trauma is real. And how we deal with that is by not sharing that stuff. I can't tell people what to do. And someone made a comment on one of my posts, well, you know, if these videos don't come out, then nothing would happen. There would be no justice. That is true. Sometimes if the videos don't come out, we wouldn't know. But do we have to share the videos of a man dying? Can we share the story without sharing the video? Because I'm thinking I would not want to see my brother being squashed like a cockroach and it being reshared and reshared and reshared and reshared over and over and over. What does that do to the survivors? The next thing is helplessness. A lot of people that I've spoken to, they have this sense of feeling trapped. Like there is absolutely nowhere to go. What do you do and where do you go? And, you know, anyone who's taken like a Psych 101 course, they might have learned about learned helplessness with the dog that was zapped. And, you know, after a while, the dog was trying to get out of some place and it kept being zapped. And then, you know, it just gave up. If you feel like you live in a society where nothing you do matters, where you don't even matter, people are going to get a sense of helplessness. Like, well, I can't do anything about this. I feel stuck. I'm trapped. And then we have grief. So it's interesting that you said what you said earlier about you felt some way and you weren't sure. You said that, Jamie, you weren't sure what you were feeling. Yes. I spoke to several people this week who said that. They were like, I feel a little bit down, but I don't know why. Or they were like, I got a headache. Or, you know, someone told me like they felt like their muscles were tense or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you are reacting. And they were like, what? So the thing about mental health is so interesting, right? Mental health is on a continuum, and we are all on that continuum. We're all on this continuum. And until people figure that out, we're not going to have strides in mental health. That it's not just other people, or it's not just people that talk to the sun, or, you know, right. We're all on there. We're all on there. You, I, everybody watching this. And on that mental health continuum, you can go from healthy to reacting to injured to ill. So when I'm telling people you're reacting, they're like, I'm reacting. I'm like, yeah. That stuff that you're experiencing right now means mentally you're not well. You're reacting. Many of us are mentally injured right now. Right. When you start feeling anxious, you're sad, you're having a hard time concentrating. I've heard people say that they haven't been sleeping, they had trouble sleeping, they're having nightmares, they have lost their appetite. We're mentally injured. Many of us are mentally injured right now because we're dealing with this on top of just coming off of COVID, or still dealing with COVID and the uncertainty and re-entering the economy and job loss and loss of pay, all of that all together. How could you not? Right? How could you not? I'm shaking a lot and I'm wondering if you're hearing me clearly, if my earrings are making noise.
No, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So we are experiencing, right, collective grief. And part of our grief is we feel helpless. Part of our grief is we feel alone. I feel like in America that Black people are like a stepchild, and we are the abused stepchild, and we are the scapegoats. And we feel very alone when our allies which I have, you know, friends that are white and that are Hispanic and that don't look like me, when our allies are silent.
Right.
It's almost like being that abused stepchild and your brothers and sisters are quiet, or they tell you it's
Right.
not that bad, or maybe you just shouldn't do that anymore and you won't get hit.
Right. Right. If you guys just comply, then maybe.
Yeah, you'll stop getting beat. You know, just
Mhm.
behave. Be quiet and behave. So we're in this by ourselves, grieving and isolated in our grief.
Yep.
So for anyone who's watching this, I wanted to break down what you might be experiencing and not even know that you're experiencing. Because some people don't know that this is what is going on right now for them emotionally. So
Right.
the process, it's processing. Why do I feel this way? Why am I not motivated? Why does my head hurt? Why are my shoulders tight? Why am I not getting my work done? Why can't I come up with my next great business idea? You know, I work with a lot of professionals and a lot of entrepreneurs, and they're like, I just can't think right now. And why can't I do this? And I'm like, do you understand that right now you're mentally injured? Injured by our mentally ill country? And I don't know, I might be blackballed after saying all of this. That's what I said. I'm saying triggering stuff. And somebody might watch this and be like, don't talk to her anymore or unfriend me.
Right.
But
That's that Black Power therapist.
right, like I'm the Black Power therapist, but I can't be a therapist and not be Black.
Precisely.
It's very hard for me to not be Black, you know? And I have a good amount of white clients. I have Asian clients. I have Hispanic clients. And I actually had a Caucasian client today. And I appreciated our session because we were able to talk, like really, really talk about what was going on instead of kind of not talking about it, even though this is going on.
Right.
So, you know, some people get it that I am Black. I cannot not be, right? And when
Right.
people say you don't see your color, you have to see my color. You have to see all of me, right? To get it, to understand me, to interact with me, to relate with me, to even support me. You have to see my color.
You have to.
So what I've been doing also in sessions is helping people learn what to do, right? Where to start. So part of the processing is in not only being aware and identifying what is happening to you, right? Like the vicarious trauma and the grief and the helplessness. It's not only being aware and identifying that, it's also being aware and identifying what you need in your body. What is your body telling you right now? What is your body craving right now? Have you noticed, like, you could tell me this, Jamie, have you noticed that your energy feels really weird? Even if
Completely
you
off
sleep, right,
kilter,
your
like
energy is
completely
off.
off.
It's just all over, right? Your energy is off.
Oh, completely.
People have told me that they're exhausted, exhausted, and they haven't done anything physical. They've just been sitting still. I'm like, yeah, this is exhausting. Just sitting and thinking about something that's traumatic, right? What people don't realize is your body is responding and reacting to it, right? So
Right.
your nervous system is now activated. You're bracing yourself for danger. You are probably breathing differently.
Right.
Your heart rate is probably different, right? Even your blood pressure, your whole body is reacting to this. So, yes,
Yeah.
you are tired, even if you're sitting still. And, you know, while we're on here, you know, we can try doing this together. I've told people, let's breathe because,
Yes.
you know, the hashtag I can't breathe, I have felt that way. Like I can't breathe. I actually
Yeah.
spoke to someone who said, I feel like I'm trying to breathe. And I was like, that's because we are not breathing. When your body is like all hyper aroused, right? And you're in this state, you're not breathing. And you might think you're breathing, right? But you're not breathing the way you should be. So I'm going to do this. So whoever's watching this now or watching on the replay, they can try it. Pay attention to how you're breathing, because your body probably needs you to do that. You probably are breathing shallow breaths from your chest and not breathing from your diaphragm. And many times we don't realize anxiety attacks and panic attacks, when they come on, it's because we're not breathing. And if we learn to practice that breathing, then we can prevent it, or we can also manage that attack when it comes on, and that anxiety. So let's try it together, Jamie. And I will also do something else that I do with people. We blow bubbles. Okay. So we should be breathing in from our nose. We can hold that for a second or two, and then we exhale slowly out of our mouths. And we should feel our diaphragm rising up and down. We should feel that our stomach is moving, because it's not from our chest. So let's go ahead and do that one time. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Okay. When I share this exercise with people, I usually actually tell them bubbles help you calm down. You can actually get real bubbles, or you could do a visualization of blowing bubbles. Because what you're going to do is imagine when you're blowing out that you're blowing a big, huge bubble that's just going to fly away with all your stress. So let's try it together. You don't have to actually have bubbles. You can visualize having the bubble container. So let's try it, Jamie. You got your bubble container and your little bubble wand. And we're going to do that breathing exercise. And we're going to visualize ourselves blowing bubbles. We're going to do it 3 times, okay? So in this visualization, you can visualize yourself anywhere that you want. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable enough to do so while you're breathing, and we're going to do it 3 times. Okay, so you have your bubbles, okay? We're going to dip our little wand in the bubble thing. Okay, tap, tap, tap. And then we're going to inhale. Exhale. Blow a big, huge bubble. We'll do it one more time. Tap, tap, tap. Get some more. Inhale. Exhale. Imagine those bubbles being filled up so big with all your stress. We're going to do it again. One more time. Tap, tap, tap. Inhale. Exhale. When that last bubble blows away, slowly open your eyes and come back. How do you feel, Jamie?
That was good, but for me, I feel like I knew that I needed to breathe, but I was preventing myself from breathing because I felt like if I took a deep breath, I was going to cry. And I think I've kind of been preventing myself from doing that, because then for me, that's like a whole explanation. Mom, why are you crying? And so instead of doing that, I literally could feel the emotions as I'm like breathing out this bubble. I'm like, oh, there's the stress and like the anxiety and the, sadness for the family. And I think that's the part that I think about the most, which is the sadness for the family. And as you said, the replaying of this person's loved one over and over and over again on social media as if it's a television show that we're all just watching, and it's very insensitive.
That was loaded, and I love live because this is real life, and that's what came up for you. And yes. I'll say this to you, just like I said to my clients, cry. You have to cry.
Yes.
You're holding in what needs to come out of your body, what you're holding in. So we can hold that in, but it's going to be in our stomach. It's going to be in our shoulders. It's going to be in our back. It's going to be in our head. It's going to be in our chest. We're going to hold it in there. It's going to be tight. We have to cry.
Yes.
And when we cry and our children see us cry, we can explain to them, I'm crying because I'm sad.
Definitely true.
Because I'm sad. Yeah. Why are you sad, mommy? I've seen people being hurt on television and it made me sad.
Definitely.
There are too many people that apologize for crying or feel uncomfortable with their crying or feel that they won't be able to control it. You're going to eventually cry until you can't cry anymore. Like, like sometimes people will be like, oh, I don't want to start crying because I won't stop. Like, you're going to stop. You have to allow yourself to cry.
Right.
So, so, it might sound funny to say this, but I've actually told people to schedule their cry. You can schedule your cry. You can, after we come off of this, you can go take a shower and cry in the shower. You can give yourself space to cry.
Yes.
Might sound weird, but once you cry, then you're relieved. And then, you
I can see myself in there crying. I turn some music on and just get the tears flowing. Some of the comments that are coming in are that they appreciate this very much. So I just wanted you to know that they appreciate it. They said that this is really, really good. Processing is exhausting. Uncertainty is exhausting. They are thanking you in the comments. So I just wanted to tell you some of the things that were coming up for people as we are doing these exercises.
Awesome. I am so happy to be here and supporting you all to get through this, because we are talking about how to process, but then we're going to talk about how to proceed. And this is part of the proceeding, is the listening to what your body is telling you to do right now. Some of our bodies are telling us that we need to sit down and rest or take a nap. So we need to pay attention to whatever our body is saying. And I've heard this, people saying, I feel like I need to take more breaks. I feel like even though I slept, I still am tired. Just imagine if there was a death in your family, your house burned down, something really tragic happened to you. You wouldn't have that much energy and you would need more rest than usual or more self-care than usual. Pay attention to that. That's how you get to that other side, right? That's how you get through this. This is how we sustain ourselves to get through this, right? We don't win this battle when we allow ourselves to break down. We win this battle when we build ourselves up and we take care of ourselves. So meditation, you can try meditation on your own. Some people don't know how to do it. They have apps, like they have Headspace, they have Calm. You can go on YouTube and find guided meditation. So you can do that. These are things that you practice on a regular basis, because you might not even realize I'm not breathing, or I was holding my breath, or I'm not breathing the way I should. But if you practice these things, it keeps you in a stability, right? Keeps you stable. Grounding exercises. You can actually Google grounding exercises. One of them that I do actually with my daughter, because she deals with anxiety, is we name names. So when she's feeling like anxious, we name names from A to Z, like girl names. And it's a way to like kind of bring your focus into something. So it distracts your brain from what else is going on. So she'll, start off with Angela, and then I'll be like Barbara, and then Carol, right? And we just go all the way to Z. And by the time she's done, she's breathing, and she's brought her focus away from the anxiety that she was experiencing. And then she feels calmer. So you can look up grounding techniques. Exercise. You know all about the exercise, Jamie. I know. How do you feel when you exercise, Jamie?
It feels good, actually. Like all the stress from my day, which I wasn't an avid person who exercised at all. I actually hated exercise. I felt like once I walked to work and back home, that was exercise enough. But now actually physically working out relieves so much stress, and it helps me to sleep very well at night.
Okay. So it helps you to sleep. What exercise also is a dose of happiness. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, all those chemicals, you feel great after. Like, I feel awesome after exercise. I feel even better after dancing. I love dancing.
Me too.
Yeah. Dance from the start to the end. I open the thing and I close it.
That's right.
Put on some
Exactly.
music, right? And it's crazy because I don't know what your cultural background is. My background is Caribbean. And some people don't understand our culture. Like, we'll have funerals and at the wake we'll like have soca music playing. Like, you know, or people will be like, wait, I'm confused. Are you guys not sad?
Are you mourning, or is this a party?
Right.
It's a celebration of life. Right. What's wrong with y'all?
Celebration. Yes. So we're used to like going through like challenging times and then like flip on the music and start dancing because it's a dose of happy. So if you didn't catch that, it was dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Even though we're going through this, right? And it's sad, right? We are alive. We have to stay alive, and we have to do everything we can to stay alive, functioning, so we can get through this. Okay. Yes. So that's really important. Take a dance break. Okay. So, mental health support. I know there's a lot of stigma with mental health support for our community. And, you know, that could be a whole nother hour that we could talk about that. But I'll say this. One, we have to kill the stigma. Every single person can have a therapist. You do not have to be talking to aliens and Martians to get a therapist. You don't have to be on drugs, you know, to get a therapist. Precisely. You don't have to be in a domestic violence relationship to get a therapist. You can get a therapist because you saw the videos on social media and now you're not functioning the way that you want to. And you just want a safe place to talk about it. And you want a place to talk about it where it's about you and your experience. So that's what we need to get to a place of feeling safe, getting mental health support and feeling okay about it. We need to be like, yeah, girl, my tooth hurt. Oh, you should go to this dentist. We need to get to that place where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you're going through some stress. Here's a therapist. Like, we need to get to that place. And it be okay. I tell you.
And it's not looked at like, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong? You have issues? Right. Oh my God. You heard she going to a therapist? What happened? Nothing happened. I'm trying to get mentally strong. I tell people therapy, I think of it like an emotional gym for my mind. Yes. You just go there to get mentally stronger. And it's not like talking to your friends. I get it. I have that friend, that best friend, that's my therapist, but she's not. I have a therapist. She has a therapist. Everybody has a therapist, right? So we have to get to this place of everybody can have a therapist. But I think part of the issues with getting the mental health support is not knowing how or where to get it in a space that's safe. And that's like I brought up that example earlier of, you know, traditionally people who are of minority, people who are Black and brown, you know, people who are Caribbean, when they go to get mental health treatment, they usually are diagnosed more severely than others. They are medicated and institutionalized. Right. So there's a fear there, but we will talk more about how to get mental health support that feels more safe. The other thing is elevating your position, right? I looked at Michelle Obama's Netflix special. I don't know if you got to see it yet, Jamie. Did you see it?
I did.
The Netflix. So I read the book, I went to the tour, and I saw the Netflix special. I love some Michelle.
Me too. But I missed the tour, and I have the book and have not read it yet.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. You got time to read the book. You got the book. I don't have the journal, but that's all right too. So when I looked at the Michelle Obama Netflix, I don't even know why. I was watching it with my daughter. She's 13. We were watching it together. Like the first 3 minutes, I was bawling, crying, like boo-hoo tears. I don't even know why, because she didn't start talking yet. You saw the beginning, right? They were just playing music. So yes.
Yes.
I looked at it, and I think what it was I saw myself in her, because I had never seen that, you know, besides Oprah.
Right.
So I don't know if the screen is freezing up a bit, but you can still see me and hear me? We're good?
I can hear you. You are frozen, but I can hear you just fine.
Okay, awesome. So I had never seen someone that looks like me in that position. She has a powerful position where she has a platform where she can do anything. And I think for me, it was like, wow, that is possible. Not even just for me, but it is possible. It's possible for my daughter or my nieces, or it's possible for my friends' kids. Like, it's possible that they can have this position. Yes. So we have to think about, how can I elevate my position in my world, right? Does that mean that maybe yes, I need to focus on my career? Does it mean that I need to really focus on this business that I'm talking about and stop just like walking around, you know, and half stepping my business? Does it mean I really need to go full throttle into my business, like go hard and show up for my business, right? So elevating your position is important, because when we elevate our position in society, right, we have more power, right? Social power, economic power, and political power. Something she said in that documentary, and I don't know if you remember it, she said, you know, we showed up to the polls to vote for Barack Obama, and then we didn't show up to the polls for anything else. Like, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of avoiding jury duty, not showing up to the jury. We always complain about these verdicts, but are we skipping out on jury duty?
Right. I'm
guilty of voting, and then when you see sheriff or judge or these other positions, just kind of like skipping over it. Like, I don't know who them people are. I don't know what they're talking about. Let me just vote for this president or the mayor, and then I'm out, right?
Right.
And then we don't even know who is representing us. We have no idea who is representing us, but it's only when things like this happen, COVID, and what happened in Minneapolis, it's only when things like these happen, we realize who is representing us on a local and state level. Absolutely. And then we're like, oh my God, who are these people?
Right?
Why do they think this is okay? What are they doing about it? But you know what? I can't really complain, because I am guilty of not showing up. I didn't do the research to find out who these people are. I didn't go and show up and vote for people. Right. I didn't do anything. I just kind of just ignored it. But now I'm like, the people that are supposed to be handling this are not the people that should be there, because the other people were voting for them.
Yep. That's the truth.
So somebody might get mad, you know, about what I'm talking about. And yes, there is racism, right? This is now a personal opinion. I don't feel like we can fight racism, but I feel like we can get in political power. I feel like we could have economic power. Yes. And I feel like that's where we can affect something and change something. You like, yes.
Because I wholeheartedly agree. Some of the things that people, the racism that people have were embedded in them from a long time ago. Their thoughts and not to say people can't change, but the reality, we can't try to change. They have to want to change if they want to change. But racism is such a broad thing that you're right. That's not something you can control, because it's something that someone else has control over. However, you do have control over your economics. You definitely do. So like though, and then being able to put yourself in a place of creating political power. We do have that. But just like you said, we have to show up in those places.
Yeah. We need to be at those meetings, at those tables, at the town halls, at the community board meetings. So
Yes.
I'm saying to you, like being really transparent, I was not doing that. I wasn't doing my part.
Right.
I need to do that. We need to do that. Collectively, we need to do that.
Yep. Definitely.
And we've done it before. Never forget our history. We've done it before. Black Wall Street, we've done it before. The Reconstruction, we've done it before.
Mm-hmm. It's
Never
possible.
forget that we've done that before. So if it can be done, it needs to be done. And that's how we proceed. So we could process all this stuff, right? But then what are we going to do, right? We got to take care of our mental health. Mm-hmm. We got to elevate our positions, and we got to start showing up. And maybe you're not going to run for office, right? I see a lot more women are running for office than ever, right? Yes. When these women are running for office, or these people that look like us are running for office, we need to show up and support them. We need to go to their fundraiser. We need to give them $10. Like, you know, we're spending $10 on Starbucks. We could give them $10 too, you know? So it's just like these little things that can help us. Because the more people that are like that, you know, in local positions and state and then, you know, off in Washington, the easier it is for us to have a voice. Instead of asking someone, can you please stop hitting me? Can you please stop? You know, like the child, we're not that, we don't have to be that stepchild.
Right.
We don't have to be like, could you please, you know, not do this to me and go through all of this if we're in there at the table, fixing our own plate, right? And bringing our own money. We don't have to do that. Right.
Yep.
I don't know. I know this was like talking about mental health and therapy, and now we're talking about something else, but it's all goes together, right? Because you can't just talk about mental health, or you can't just talk about politics, or you can't just talk about social injustices without, it all goes together. It's all connected. Absolutely. So let's take care of our mental health, people. Let's get it together with the mental health so we can elevate our positions and we can show up powerfully, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Truly. Okay. So safe spaces. I have a list here of safe spaces where you can go get culturally competent therapy by people that look like you, that you don't have to explain what it's like to walk in a store and feel like you're being stared at, where you don't have to explain what it's like to know that you're not getting service at a restaurant where other people have gotten served first, where you don't have to explain that you're not just delusional, that you are feeling and experiencing this. You don't have to explain what microaggressions are. You don't have to explain why your hair was short and now it's long and it's short again. You know, like you don't have to explain all these things. Or why you feel uncomfortable with your own hair, you know, and all these things like that. So Ayana Therapy is one of those sites that you can go to. These are referral sites. Boris L. Henson Foundation.org is a nonprofit by Taraji P. Henson. I actually had the privilege and I'm thankful that I was able to participate in their COVID campaign. So right now, Taraji's P. Henson has this foundation for mental health where you can get a therapist for free, up to 5 sessions. So I participated.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is amazing.
No excuses, people.
Free therapy. And it's not just free therapy like, you know how they have free therapy, but it's really not therapy. It's like just referral or whatever. This is actual therapy with private therapists, because I'm one of the therapists. So like you sign up for it and then you could find your own private therapist to have private therapy sessions for 1 hour. So if you go on there, sign up for that. There's also CaribbeanTherapist.com. I know the founder of that amazing woman. she's like, you know, Caribbean people have their own stigma about therapy. So you can find a Caribbean therapist, right? Like people gonna find every reason not to go to therapy. Well, I need somebody Caribbean that understands, well, they have that. They have Caribbean therapists. There is therapyforblackgirls.com.
Yes.
I've been on there for years, listed on there. There are some phenomenal Black women on there. Therapyforblackmen.org. Some people are not as familiar with that. There's Therapy for Black Men. They need therapists too. And there are Black male therapists. People think that they don't exist, but they do.
They are there.
They exist, right? And if for any reason you have questions about therapy, you're not sure about it, you don't know how it works, you don't know where to start, right? It always starts with a consultation. So my website is there, senecawilliams.com, and you can just go on there and I'll answer any questions you have. Like I'll do a short 15-minute consult and direct you in the right place, you know, for therapy. So, yep, that's it.
Thank you so much. I'm actually adding your website to the chat. And so 2 questions I saw came up. One was, what if your body has been telling you to stop for a long time?
If your body has been telling you to stop for a long time, you're probably going to head into burnout. And you don't want to get yourself into a space of burnout because after burnout, you might end up depressed or physically sick. Sometimes people get physically sick. Right. So your body has been telling you to stop for a long time. Figure out what it is that you need to do first, right? And is it that I need to start going to sleep earlier? Do I need to take more breaks in the day? Some people are working straight through the day. Do I need to take mini breaks? Am I putting too much on my plate? Do I need to delegate more? Am I not setting boundaries for myself? So it's figuring out what is making you go so hard for so long and start making those adjustments. And I tell people, ask yourself, what do I need to do more of? What do I need to do less of? And what do I need to stop doing?
Yes. That's really good. Another question I saw was, what falls under elevating your position? What does that look like?
What do you want in your life? When it comes to elevating your position in your life, it could mean like, I need to go back to school and get this degree so that I can have that job that pays more, so I can take care of my family and my community. It could look like in my business, I need to expand my business. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be at my job, you know what? I want to be more involved in certain things that I see going on here that are right. So it's putting yourself, if you're here, it's putting yourself here, right? What in your own life looks like you putting yourself here to put you in a better position, your family in a better position, and even your community? What are those things, right? It could be volunteering at your church, right? Because then there you have a place. Elevating your position is a personal thing. So think to yourself, write down some things like, you know what, these are some things that I could do to make a difference in my world, right? We're not all going to be Oprah Winfrey's and Michelle Obama's, but in my world, what would elevate my position? Yes. Right now, me and Jamie, this is what we're doing. We elevate in our position. Yes. You know, we out here doing this thing.
Right, trying to help people out.
Helping people out, right? It puts you in another position now, you know? Now you are seen as someone that people can trust and go to talk about these things. And, you know, you're a safe place.
Yes.
And you're helping yourself and your family and your community.
Absolutely. We all need it. And just like you, when you mentioned about people needing therapy and feeling like, no, therapy is almost like an afterthought. Let's wait till there's a big problem to go to therapy. No, I would tell people, oh, me and my husband are going to a marriage boot camp. They were like, oh,
y'all are
you guys having problems? I'm like, we weren't given a blueprint for marriage. My parents didn't stay together. His parents didn't stay together. We want to stay together. So in order to do that, we need to be able to know how to communicate with each other properly, know each other's love language. Like, there's a lot to this stuff. If we want to know it, we got to get the tools to know it. Why not counseling?
So I will say this, right? Which is a possible reason why. Therapy for a long time, right? Clinical therapy has been thought of as treatment based, right? Diagnosis, problem based, treatment based. So you have to have a diagnosis to go. So I'm not mentally ill. I don't have something like that could be diagnosed, so they don't go. And when we start shifting it to prevention, then people might understand it different. Like, you don't just go to the dentist because your teeth are falling out, although I do know some people like that.
Right.
You're supposed to go to the dentist like once a year, twice every 6 months, right? You don't wait till your teeth are falling out.
Like, I don't have teeth at all.
So it's kind of the same thing. Like, people have to get to that place of understanding, oh, I don't have to wait to go, or I don't need to be in crisis to talk to a therapist. I'll tell you this, since I've been in private practice, most of my clients are not in any serious crisis. Like, when I used to work in agencies, it was like people ODing on drugs and homelessness and, a lot of foster care and stuff like that. But I work with a lot of professionals now who are just trying to be their best selves, and they come to therapy. They're like, you know what? I want to think better. I want to be more emotionally intelligent and mentally strong. How can I do this so that I can start my business, so I can grow this business? So like, that even leads me into why I am, the entrepreneur, therapist, and I do business therapy, is because people want to start businesses, and then a lot of the emotions start popping up, and the anxieties and the emotional baggage, and they don't realize how connected everything is. So we end up talking about your fear of embarrassment, and the teacher that said you weren't going to amount to anything, and how when you were growing up, you were afraid of business people or salespeople because your mom told you can't trust them, or we end up talking about all these things, or money is evil, or be humble.
Yes.
So
that's a good one.
It's definitely, yes. Humble yourself. You just need enough to survive.
Right.
And now you don't want to charge people for your services, and everybody's taking advantage of you and asking for free help, and you're not charging them, and you blaming them. When really you need to work through what's going on for you emotionally. So people come to therapy for that stuff too.
That is awesome. I have another question. What do we need to be careful of as we parent through this present situation?
So this is a great question. Depending on how old your child is, your conversations are going to be different. But you do need to be having conversations, because they are seeing, they are hearing, and they are feeling. And what I mean by they are seeing, depending on your child's age, they're probably plugged into YouTube. They're probably on some kind of social media. Just because you didn't tell them about it, or you didn't have that conversation, doesn't mean they didn't see it and they're not getting their own consumption. They're not consuming this stuff. So you want to definitely be open and having conversations like, do you know what's going on? Did you hear about this? Depending on how old they are, you talk to them at that developmental level, because what happens is they can be experiencing it and consuming it and internalizing it and not talking about it. And that leads them into feeling anxious, confused, sad, and then they don't know what they're experiencing, and they might even start changing their behaviors, right? They might be like afraid to go outside, or afraid for you to go outside, because they like, is my mommy or daddy going to come back? So definitely we need to like be checking in with them, like, hey, do you know what's going on? They might surprise you and be like, yeah, I heard this person got killed, and I saw this on YouTube and whatever. And that's when you go in and say, well, how do you feel about this? And what do you think? And, you reassure them, and you teach them the coping skills that and help them through it.
Yes, that is the truth. People are saying, thank you. That's good. Thank you so much. Not setting boundaries is a big one. Someone said people are still ashamed to admit that they need help if they think someone will find out their flaws.
We're all flawed.
We all got it.
We all got something going on. That's why I said on the mental health continuum, we're all on there.
Somewhere on that spectrum.
Yeah, we're on there.
Somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to still see if any questions are coming in. Someone said they like the dentist analogy. I like it too, because it's the truth. Like, hello? You think I think maybe because of the perspective we're coming from, it's like, you're a counselor. I'm studying now to be a marriage and family therapist. And I'm like, isn't that like, don't you want to do it before, like prevention? Don't you want to do it before?
Right.
Maybe that's the reason I'm thinking, like, of course it's like the dentist, but I'm glad you said it, because other people are like, yeah, we love that analogy.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't see it that way. So we might see it that way and understand it that way, but other people don't. And like, even like, younger people, I tell them like, doctors go to the doctor, a doctor can't operate on themselves, right? Nurses go to the doctor, they go to the GYN, they can't they can't examine themselves. They go to healthcare professionals, go to healthcare professionals.
That's right. I'm looking at my notes. I think I don't see any more questions coming in. I put your website in the comments. I'm going to add your how to contact you, your email information. Oh yeah, someone said, yes, the dentist analogy is great. Schedule your wellness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Even if it's once a year, right? Like, I'm gonna schedule a therapy appointment just one time a year. Just go there and see what happens.
Right.
I tell you something, people be coming to therapy, says like, Seneca, I have nothing to talk about today. Next thing after an hour, they'd be like, wow. They're like, I didn't know all of that was there.
Right. Well, wait, I thought I had nothing to talk about. Guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Did you have any, I'm going to let you close it out, because this to me was extremely amazing. It was very, very helpful. And again, like I said, I feel like people needed a safe space to be able to vent, but also to be able to have next steps, so that you're not just sitting in these emotions, not knowing what to do with it. So I thank you so much for being a part of this event. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have anything that you have going on that you want to shout out right now to the viewers?
Well, right now I am, still doing therapy, but I will, be in the summertime launching therapy groups, which is something new because I never did them online. So that would be great, getting on that, over the summer, work through the stress management, right? So it'll be a stress management group. And also for entrepreneurs, I will be in the summertime opening up an online membership that monthly they can come in. And the membership community is called the Conquer Community. It focuses on entrepreneurship and emotional wellness. So it's more focused on the entrepreneur who is driving the business than the business. So we talk about a lot about business mindset and some of those things that I was talking about, like people not charging people, or not setting boundaries in their business, or not delegating, or not managing their mental health while they're managing their business. So that's what it's about. So they can find me on social media as Coach Sen, and the Conquer Network as well. I'm on all social media: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, as Coach Sen. And do like, share, follow, stay connected with me. All right, that's about it. I help people, help women grow through emotional mess to get to their business success.
Yes, thank you so much. All the thank yous are pouring in. People are saying thank you, thank you. Our Coach Q is on here. She said thank you. Everyone's like, thank you so much. Elizabeth said, I'll be sending you an email. So I just wanted to thank you again for being a part of this. Again, this was amazing information. I think it's definitely it has already helped our viewers, which we had several viewers. And I think that in the replay is going to help a lot more people as well. I really appreciate you being a part of this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, and I'm actually going to be continuing this kind of a talk. A lot of moms have been expressing to me that, people have, they have their own different spiritual experiences. or different religions. So they are now feeling like they're sticking stronger or holding tighter to their beliefs and their and the feelings around that. And so because of that, I'm doing a mom's 5-day prayer challenge. So if you are interested in that, I will put the link below so that you can sign up to be a part of that. It will be coming up in about 2 weeks. And so, yeah, people need this right now, Seneca. So again, I'm so grateful to be able to know you, so that I was like, let me ask Sen a favor.
Mm-hmm. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you really did. You really did. I was like, I know she's busy because she's a therapist, but I knew that, like I said, you and I follow each other, and a lot of the thoughts that come up for you and the things you post, I'm like, oh my goodness, we are thinking on the same page. So I am so grateful that you are a part of this. Thank everyone for tuning in. Oh, more pour outs. They said this was great. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, there's more where this comes from. We're going to keep this conversation going because I know that one night is not going to be enough. Mm-hmm. And I will definitely keep you posted with it all so you can join us.
Thank you. Thank you. Peace and blessings.
Thank everyone so much. God bless you guys and have an amazing evening.